Welcome to DeKei Studio! We are a group of young creators with a deep passion for Vietnamese culture and history. With the desire to share that love with others, we're excited to launch a new video series featuring legendary tales and folk stories from Vietnam's rich cultural heritage. As we're still growing and improving, we know things might not be perfect just yet, so we truly appreciate your honest feedback to help us get better with every video. If you enjoy the content we create, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Even a small share from you means a lot and gives us the motivation to keep spreading these Vietnamese stories far and wide. And now, let's step into the legendary world of Son Tinh and Thuy Tinh, a classic Vietnamese folktale that explains the annual floods during the rainy season. This is also the story of one of Vietnam's four immortals, sacred symbols that have stood the test of time alongside the Vietnamese people. During the era of the Hung Kings, when the land of Van Lang, the first country of the Lac Viet people, was being founded, there was a wise and virtuous king who had ruled for many years and was deeply respected by all his people. This was the 18th Hung King, a ruler not only skilled in governance, but also deeply concerned for the well-being and prosperity of his citizens. The king had a single daughter named My Nuong. As the princess of the realm, she lived in a magnificent palace at the capital, Phong Chau. From birth, My Nuong was blessed with a divine and graceful beauty. Her hair was long and flowing like a stream, her skin as fair as morning mist, and her eyes gentle like the full moon on an autumn night. Not only was she beautiful, she was also kind-hearted, well-mannered, talented in music, chess, calligraphy, and painting. She was respectful to her elders, considerate to others, and deeply filial to her parents, earning the love and admiration of both the king and queen. When My Nuong reached marriageable age, the king wished to find her a worthy husband, not only handsome and talented, but also compassionate and virtuous, someone who could help protect the nation and care for the princess in the future. News of My Nuong's beauty and virtue spread far and wide. Talented young men from noble families across the land, and even those with supernatural powers, travelled to Phong Chau to seek her hand in marriage. Among them, two extraordinary men stood out and captured the attention of the entire royal court and the king. They were Son Tinh, the lord of the mountains, and Thuy Tinh, the king of the waters. Son Tinh came from the west, from the towering Tan Bien mountain, where clouds and sky met. He had a tall, strong build, a face as firm as stone, and eyes as sharp as sunbeams piercing through the forest. With every step he took, the ground trembled and trees bent in reverence. He could command wild animals, birds flocked to his call, elephants knelt before him, and tigers and leopards obeyed his commands. With his magical staff, he could make mountains rise and the land elevate to shield against wind and rain. He lived in seclusion deep in the forest, in harmony with nature, nurturing great ambitions, studying the ways of righteousness, and mastering the ancient magic of the gods. Thuy Tinh, the Lord of Waters, was a divine being from the east, where the vast ocean stretches endlessly. He rode on a giant fish, slicing through the waves toward the capital. With each of his steps, water surged, waves roared, and thunder echoed across the sky. His face gleamed like sunlight over the sea, and his cloak shimmered like curling silver waves. He could summon rain, command winds, and raise floods that drowned entire plains. He was also gifted and powerful, with a proud and resolute spirit like a rushing waterfall. Both men were worthy, talented, and majestic. However, the king could not marry his daughter to both. After many nights of consideration, the Hung King finally set a clear condition. Tomorrow, whoever brings the wedding gifts first, including these rare items, an elephant with 9 tusks, a rooster with 9 spurs, a horse with 9 red manes, along with 100 trays of sticky rice and 100 bundles of square cakes, will have the princess's hand in marriage. These were all rare and precious offerings: the 9-tusked elephant with strange ivory, the 9-spurred rooster with unusual claws, and the horse with 9 red manes, a rare and majestic creature. The challenge was not just about strength, but also about intelligence and meticulous preparation. The two suitors accepted the challenge and immediately left the capital. Son Tin returned to his mountain and ordered animals throughout the forests to search for the gifts. The 9-spurred rooster was trained and brought back from sacred woods. The 9-tusked elephant came from distant lands to answer his call. The red-maned horse neighed loudly from rocky highlands. The sticky rice was selected from the finest fields, steamed into fragrant white trays, and the square cakes were wrapped by the mountain fairies themselves. Meanwhile, Thuy Tinh summoned sea creatures and scoured rivers and oceans in search of the same offerings. However, the water routes were longer and winding, with turbulent waves slowing him down. By the time Thuy Tinh reached the capital, Son Tin had already arrived with all the required gifts, and the princess had been taken to Mount Tan Vien. Enraged, Thuy Tinh could not accept defeat. He believed he was equally worthy and had been robbed of the one he loved. Fueled by fury, he summoned storms and floods to attack the mountain. Thus began a battle that shook the heavens and the earth. Rain poured down like a waterfall, thunder roared and rivers overflowed, flooding fields and villages. Houses were swept away, trees uprooted, and people fled in panic to higher ground. But Son Tin remained undaunted. Standing atop Mount Tan Vien, he wielded his magic staff and commanded the forces of nature. The mountains rose higher layer by layer, hills connected to block the water, and rocks were piled to form walls against the flood. His divine elephants and horses carried massive stones, while forest creatures helped evacuate villages, clear roads, and deliver aid. The two gods battled for days and nights. Every time Thuy Tinh raised the water, Son Tin raised the mountains. The higher the water surged, the higher the mountains rose. Eventually, Thuy Tinh grew weary, his magic fading, and he retreated to the sea in bitter defeat. Since that year, every rainy season, Thuy Tinh again raises the waters to challenge Son Tin, hoping to reclaim Mai Nuong. But each time, he's defeated. The floods rise, but they eventually recede because Son Tin and the people remain steadfast, united in their strength to overcome the storm. This legend has been passed down through generations of Vietnamese as a natural explanation for summer floods, and as a powerful symbol of the people's resilience and unyielding spirit in the face of natural disasters. The tale of Son Tin and Thuy Tinh is not just a beautiful legend of love, talent, and determination. It is also a timeless lesson about wisdom, loyalty, and the enduring strength of humankind against nature. The ancients taught that even when rivers rise and floods sweep the land, the steadfast will of humanity can lift mountains and overcome all. The tale of Son Tin and Thuy Tinh is not only an ancient explanation by our ancestors for natural phenomena, but also a testament to the rich imagination and enduring optimism of the Vietnamese people. No matter how fierce the storms may be, the human spirit remains strong, just like Lord Son Tin, who stands tall between heaven and earth, shielding the people from Thuy Tinh raging fury. We hope that through this story, you not only gain insight into a unique legend from Vietnam's folklore, but also feel the profound beauty of our traditional culture. Thank you for joining DeKei Studio on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, we'd truly appreciate it if you could share it with others. Your support helps keep these age-old stories alive and relevant in our modern lives. See you again in our next videos, where we'll continue exploring the magical tales echoed from the distant past.